for being patient with me, those who are watching this later. And I'm just giving some time so that some folks can jump on. I didn't announce that I was coming on live, but I wanted to talk about parenting, profits, and purpose. I did a version of this earlier on Periscope while I was at an indoor playground with my kids, and my baby's now sleeping. Okay, I don't know how to turn it off. My little one is now sleeping, the 11-week-old, and the 4-year-old, I just banished him to go watch TV. So I wanted to come to you all with this quote that I think is really important. As we prepare to do our purpose planning for 2017, it's important that we start thinking about all the things that can support us in fulfilling our goals. I like to call them targets for 2017 and what can't, as it relates to being a Black woman CEO and having a business. So Lisa Nichols, who is the CEO of Motivating the Masses and is actually one of the first personal development companies to go public as far as having an IPO, I was watching a recent webinar, and this is what she says I think is really important. And she says, I cannot use my title as mom as an excuse or reason to place smaller than the divine assignment on my life. So I'll read that again. I cannot use my title as mom as an excuse or reason to place smaller than the divine assignment on my life. Isn't that really profound, right? And I thought it was important to bring this to our community today. Sorry, I'm trying to see if I click on the video myself. Can I see your comments? Okay, so unfortunately I can't see any comments. That takes away the whole community aspect of this. Can I see your comments? Okay, let's see if I turn my sound off here. Okay, so I think if you write something, I can probably see it now that we're live. Well, and if not, we'll figure it out. So if you're here, if you're viewing the video, please leave a comment. If you have questions, we can do that. So often let me introduce myself. For those who don't know me, I am Quanisha Green, the Chief Activator, Founder, and CEO of the Black Women Rise Movement. And what we do is that we help Black women thrive, and we help you increase your impact, influence, and income, and also achieve new levels of clarity, confidence, and courage, right? And you probably see my other videos where I've talked about some of the challenges that particularly Black women have when it comes to building our businesses, particularly when we're still working our 9-to-5. And so I really speak to the inner self, right? So that you can master yourself, so that you can actually go ahead and execute and master your business. So I have this unique combination, I guess, in what I do for Black women entrepreneurs when it comes to training and coaching you, is that my background, I have a master's in social work. I'm also a master in corporate life coach. So I understand all the internal junk that can get in the way of you actually fulfilling your purpose and making the difference you want to make through entrepreneurship. So that's what we're talking about. And so that's why I wanted to come and talk to you about parenting, profit, and purpose, because I offer a complimentary 30-minute confident CEO strategy session where it helps women to get clarity, to figure out what's holding them back, and really energize them so that they get on with making a commitment often to their business development and investing in themselves through some of our Black Women CEO programs and things like that. But one thing that often comes up in the conversation when I ask people, what is really holding you back? And they talk about time. Often it's time, finding time. And many of them talk about a fear around how to balance, building your business with supporting your family, or you can say building your family life out, right? And then when women think about that big goal, the legacy they want to leave, many of them want to leave, like you want to leave a legacy for your children. You want to leave a wealth legacy for your children, right? And I understand that. I want my children to be way better off than where I started. And particularly with Black families, that can be challenging. The average net worth of Black families, I think, is like around $7,000. It actually might be less than that. But for white families, it's like 4 times. They have 4 times more net worth than Black families, right? And I think if you go to blackdemographics.com, they talk about the income disparity as far as net worth, right? So when we talk about the playing field, many white families are starting way, I'm trying to see how the camera's going to do this, but they're starting way ahead of us as, you can say, African Americans as a group. And even when we think about African Americans, the statistics show that, our households are predominantly run by single Black women. So if you take the houses run by single Black women, and even the houses that have two parents in it, particularly the ones that you say heterosexual households that have a man and a woman, right? You can say the majority of households in the African American community are predominantly female, right? So whether it's a two-person household or single parents, they're making up, there's a woman in the majority of the households, right? So Black women economic empowerment, right, is really important because we're impacting not just ourselves and our current circumstances, but the legacies that we're going to go on and leave with our children. And so many of us think that once we have families, we have to stop pursuing our purpose, or that we can't. Right, that all that purpose, running and dreaming are for the single people or the people without children. And I'm just here to tell you that it is possible, right? I'm living proof of it. You can pursue your purpose, you can have profits, and you can do a good job parenting, right? It's really how you're integrating all those things together. Now, how do you do that? How do you basically become a parent who is fulfilling their purpose and being profitable? Well, it really boils down to you making a decision, right? Are you going to decide to prioritize your business, whether you're in business or creating a business that will make a difference and have a purpose, while also prioritizing your family, right? So when we think of our top priorities, and I actually did a video yesterday that I'll post on what do you value. When we think about top priorities, many of us have so many other things in front of this business that we want to develop, right, to fulfill our purpose. We're putting traditional work ahead of it. We might be putting community service and religious things and even other family members in front of you fulfilling your desire. And all it requires is really reprioritizing your life in order to do what you're meant to do. So, for example, I had a client who kept saying she couldn't find time to work on her business, right? And this person was actually single. But when we actually did a session, when we did her calendar creation, and I said, where are you spending your time? She was on all these committees, right? She's a doctor. She has a doctorate in social work. So she was on this committee for this conference and this committee for that conference. And they weren't even paying her, right? These were voluntary positions. And so I said, you have time to work on your business. It's about what you're going to place as a priority, right? And even with my clients that have families, right? It's a matter of, okay, if your family's your priority, let's put in your family time, right? Many of my clients, like you, are working 9 to 5. So it's like, let's put the job time on your calendar. Let's put the family time on your calendar. And now it's because those two are priorities, you still got to make money, right? You got to bring in the money for the job to support your lifestyle and even this business that you're creating. And the other priority is your family. Then it's like, okay, now where do we fit in the business activities, right? So it's really, how do you build a business around the lifestyle that you desire? And while you might not have everything in place now, maybe your business is not making 6 figures and, maybe you're not taking the traveling around the world yet with your family, but you can look at creating your ideal life, your ideal schedule, and when you will work on your business around it. Like, there's 5 core business activities that I teach in the Black Women CEO program. So we actually go through the calendar and put these 5 primary business activities in around the life, right? Around the time that you want to have for your family or your spiritual practice, as well as your primary work. So it is possible to pursue your purpose, have profits, and the profits come when you learn the strong systems and strategies. So I teach a 4-step process. I say you have to be strong in this 4-step process. And the 4-step process is you have to have a strong state of mind, right? That means that you have to know what are some of the inner things that might be holding you back. How do you deal with your fears, right, that come up around you implementing? How do you deal with the overwhelm, right? And some of that, like I said, is the calendar creation. Why are you frustrated? And you're probably frustrated, while you're working a 9 to 5. It's because you're trying all these different tactics that you're learning online or you're watching free webinars, and you don't have a proven step-by-step strategy, right? So all that is revving up these emotions for you. And in order to have a state of mind, you need someone to come along with you and dig into it, give you strategies and solutions, and help you focus and get clarity, right? And even have the confidence to implement. So that's a strong state of mind. Then, kind of in that state of mind, right, you need strong strategies and systems. So that's step 2 and 3, right, that are proven to work, but not just proven to work, but that complement who you are, right? And I call it authentic marketing, right? If you're going to market, if you don't like webinars, don't do webinars, right? And so many of us are having frustration or things are not working. It's because we're not running our businesses or even trying to build our businesses in a way that is in alignment with who you are, what you value, your strengths, and your talents, right? So you have to dig in and know the strategy as well as the systems. And then you need strong support, right? So the 4 steps are strong state of mind. Second step is strategy. Second step is systems, right? There are let me talk about systems. There are revenue generating strategies and systems that you can put in place from the beginning to help start automating how people come in to your business, how they get to know about you and your products and all these things like that. So I teach that in the Black Women CEO program. And then the last thing is support. Where is your support? Do you have strong support? And for parents, this is so important, right? And this is how you can do well in achieving your purpose. So you cannot be a one-woman show, right? And I wish I could see the comments because I would love to ask questions and engage. So, but just think to yourself, are you a one-woman show? Right? One question something that my grandmother always used to say. My grandmother used to send me and my cousin to the store. And this one particular time, my grandmother sent us to the store and she wanted like lima beans and she wanted like Goya lima beans. And my cousin, not wanting to disappoint my grandmother or get in trouble, they didn't have Goya. She bought the store brand, right? So here we are. My cousin is 10 years older than me. So she was like 15 and I was like 5, right? And I remember this so vividly. And so we come back and she has the store-bought lima beans and my grandmother's looking at this and she says, if I want something done right, I have to do it myself. If I want something done right, I have to do it myself. And the reason why her saying that stuck with me my whole life is because it has been reiterated over and over again. And think about in your life, right? Who has even said that? I've said that throughout different points of my life myself. And that is part of this persona of the strong Black woman, right? That gets in the way for many of us actually doing well in business. So as a strong Black woman, we often feel like if I want something done well, I have to do it myself, right? And you're brilliant at what you do, obviously. But think about the toll that takes on when you have to do it yourself at work, when you have to do it yourself in your family, when you have to do it with yourself in the community service that you do, when you have to do it yourself when you're trying to tend to your friends. You start serving everyone else, but not being of service to yourself. And so as parents who want to fulfill their purpose and have profits, you have to learn how to eventually build a team, right? So within your business, your team could be hiring a VA, a virtual assistant for those who don't know, or hiring an intern, right? Or teaching someone the practice that you do so well so that they can do it. Or trusting that if you give them a activity, you don't have to micromanage. Trust them to operate in their genius to do it well, right? So that requires trust when we lean on someone else. And many of us, because of our history, aren't very trusting, right? We've been hurt by society. We've been hurt in our families where people don't show up for us because we're always showing up for everyone else, right? So that's still part of this whole strong Black womanness. And so the support part comes up. And so not just support in your business that you're trying to build, you need support in your personal life, right? So one thing that I do, even though I'm working full-time from home, and I have been for the last 18 months, my son, who is 4, now I have an 11-week-old, but my son went to daycare 5 days a week, right? I didn't change that from when I transitioned over from full-time work to full-time graduate school to now full-time working for myself. He went to school, right? Because it's very difficult to work while you have a toddler at home with you, right? Another way that you can have support is that maybe you're leveraging apps, right? Like I love this app called Instacart. And Instacart was a grocery app. So I could put in the groceries that I need and someone will actually deliver it to my house. So for those who are interested in that, it's called Instacart. Instacart. Now their prices have changed. I haven't used it in the last couple of months because the markup got kind of ridiculous, at least in my area. But Instacart was a service, right? Another service might be, in addition to maybe your primary child care, you're also looking at babysitting, right? So if you have a webinar on Saturday and say you want to give your partner a break, your husband or your wife a break, you might want to have a babysitter come in so that they can watch the kids so that you can do the webinar that you need to do, right? So also thinking, and babysitter could be a paid babysitter, it could be a family member, right? Once again, just getting some support so that you can fulfill your purpose by doing your business. Another support system is cleaning, right? I know many of us, our home is our domain. Nobody can clean like you can, but there are reputable house cleaning services that can come. Because think about it. If in your business, if you was to break it down and you say, okay, working an hour in my business might be worth $75, right? When you think about maybe the profit that you could make. Someone cleaning your house for an hour, that might be $10, $20, $40, right? So it actually is cheaper for you to hire someone to do the cleaning and you use that time and leverage that time to work on your business, particularly marketing or servicing and delivering on the service that only you can provide, right? So all of this, as far as can you be a parent and pursue your purpose, is just a matter of thinking differently, right? Setting different priorities and thinking outside the box. One, thinking about support and systems and strategies, right? And this is all having the right state of mind, once again, that you're going to be both. You're going to do all this. You're going to be a parent. You're going to fulfill your purpose, and you're going to build a business that is revenue generating and helps you have profits, right? Kids and cash flow. You can have both of them. I promise you. So what I wanted to say is just think about it differently. And so it all starts with you making a commitment and a decision to commit. Because really, you can't have asses, right? You have to quit or commit. And so how do you commit? There's some ways to do that. One, you can start small. Oh, I see someone put I see on the computer there's a thumbs up. And so I guess someone's here. Hey, y'all, I can't see your comments. I wish I could see your comments. So I don't know. I feel like I'm lecturing because I can't see your comments. So if you do have questions or comments, just write them in the box. I'll come back later and maybe just do a video answering your comments and questions. But I promise you, I cannot see it. And so that will be more troubleshooting later. So are you ready to commit? And you might say, well, I don't have time. How am I going to do this? Like that time. So let me think. In 18 months, I have, and actually a little shorter than this because I started honing in on the Black woman CEO part at the beginning of 2016, somewhere around there, right? Like late, actually it's been like a year I've been focusing on the Black woman CEO part. And I have 70 applications from women who have applied for Confident CEO strategy sessions. I have like another 70 for the other program that we started out with, Activate Your Purpose. And the majority of women who wrote applications said that some form of time, right, some aspect of time is their biggest hurdle, right? So with you committing to your business, you have to start to protect your time. Protect your time, right? And how do you do that? So one thing I want to say is that, and the one way to put this into context to think about, if your child was sick, right, and someone said, I need you, this operation is going to cost $10,000, say for your child to get a new liver, right? As a parent, you will go into mommy bear mode, right? And you might still go to work, but you're going to figure out how to use your break time to call sponsors. You're going to figure out what to do on weekends to raise this $10,000 for your child. You know, if someone asks you to volunteer, you might say, I don't have time for that right now. You know, I need to go work on getting this $10,000, right? You might start selling t-shirts, right? You will start a side hustle. You will do what you need to do. Right? And we even seen the movies where people go extreme. They go rob banks. I'm not advocating that, right? But you would do what you need to do to raise that $10,000, right? Having a business that fulfills your purpose and helps to build a legacy for you and your children should require the same urgency that you would give if it was a life and death situation. So you have the time. We all have 24 hours in a day. And if you want to get really creative, you can say you have the same amount of time in the day as Beyonce, right? And you think about it, she's a smart businesswoman. She leverages things to get the work done, right? When she does those 10 videos in like a week, I'm pretty sure she has sitters and a team helping her. But you can mimic that for yourself at whatever level that you're at, right? So going back to the time. So you have the time. It's a matter of saying, I'm committing to this, I'm dedicating this, and I'm not going to quit at it. Right? So something I suggest people say when you're now protecting your time is if someone comes to you, let me back up. So one, you want to have a calendar, right? You want to create a calendar where first you put in your lifestyle stuff. Like when are you going to work? You know, when is your family time, your date night? If you go to church or synagogue or Buddhist temple, wherever you're going to for your place of worship, right? Those are those primary things. God, family, and you, right? When do you do your self-care? When are you exercising? When do you do your nails or wash your hair? Put this primarily into your calendar. And now the business hours go around that. So say on Saturday, you say, I'm going to work my business from 10 to 2. I want you to honor that promise that you made to yourself. So if someone comes along and says, because remember, let me remind you, remember, this is about life or death, right? This is about you building a legacy for you, your children, right? Financial freedom. Just that, even that thing of honoring your calling, right? Fulfilling what God has called you to do in your life. That is an important task to take on. That is a commitment, right? So say you say, I'm going to spend 10 to 2 on Saturdays fulfilling this commitment. And your sister comes along and says, you know, I need a ride to the mall, right? And what you can say is, I have a prior commitment at that time. Would this other time work for you? Or I can do it, you know, at 2 o'clock on Saturday, right? So the same way that if you had a doctor's appointment from 10 to 2, the same way that if you, I don't know, whatever it is, right? You made a promise to someone saying from 10 to 2, I'm going to spend time. I want you to make that same commitment and honor the time that you set aside to work your business. Because people are going to treat you, or you can teach people how to treat you. And if you value yourself, right? And if you value your time, you're teaching them to value you and to value your time. And if you say you're not available, it's not a lie. It's true. You have blocked out this time for your business. So you need to become uncompromising about the time you set aside. Because remember, you're building a business around the lifestyle that you desire. And I know you, as the mama CEO that you are, you want to be there for your family. You want to build this legacy. And taking your sister to the mall, not doing your business stuff from 10 to 2 is not going to help you do that. So you can be a parent, you can fulfill your purpose, and you can make profits, right? When you're working on the right activities. And once again, that goes into the system that I just talked about, which is my Black Woman CEO process, where you got to work on your state of mind. You have to have a strong state of mind. It's 4 steps: strong state of mind, strong strategies, strong systems, and strong support. And so I don't know how long I've been on this video, but I'm going to wrap it up. So I hope some of those tips, and plus I can't see your comments, so I'll probably come back and answer your comments or questions, right? So if you have questions about how do you balance this all, I actually, in addition to posting them in the comments, and maybe I'm going to answer them on Saturday for you. I'm going to do that. So what I'm doing on Saturday for the community, because so many of us start our new year, you know, on fire, right? And then by like February, March, it totally dwindles away for the things, because of the reasons we just talked about, right? You're no longer honoring yourself. You don't have that fire under your belly. You don't feel the urgency. And so this Saturday, I'm actually doing a free webinar workshop, right? Because I believe in workshops. I'm not here to lecture at you. We're going to get some work done. Called Purpose Planning 2017. And it's only for people in the Black Women Rise community. And so if you haven't joined our community, go to blackwomenrise.com. That's Black Women with the E, so WOMEN, blackwomenrise.com, and sign up. Membership is free. And as a gift for joining, you actually get, 2 gifts. So the first gift you get is the Black Women Rise Leadership Guide, and it has 12 effective leadership resources for Black women, right? 3 go help you discover your strength and talents. And then there's 9 resources by us, for us in there, right? So that's the Black Women Rise Leadership Guide. And it was created because people were always asking me, Quanisha, what are your resources? How were you able to do this and that? So I put it all in this guide, right? So that's my gift to you when you join the Black Women Rise community. And then you get a second opportunity. So once you join the Black Women Rise community, immediately you will see an opportunity to talk to me, right? So I just talked about the Confident CEO, the 30-minute Confident CEO strategy session that I offer, and it's completely complimentary. And during that session, you can find out what is really holding you back from going after what you want, right? Or if you are frustrated building your business, I will actually do a high-level assessment of the 4 steps I talked about, your state of mind, strategies and systems, and your support, to see what's happening there, and so that we can talk about it. So you'll leave this free session, no matter what, with clarity. You also leave inspired and kind of revved up to go do things. And then if you decide that, maybe you want to work with me and let me be your support system and teach you revenue generating strategies, right? Really make this process easy for you. You can put these revenue generating systems in place within 6 weeks. So I have a 6-week intensive where you can put this in place in 6 weeks, right? So if you got that fire under your butt, because I'm all about how do we get it done and make it happen, you can do this in 6 weeks. So if you're interested in that, join blackwomenrise.com. You'll get our guide. Then you can fill out the application for a Confident CEO strategy session. And then tomorrow I'm actually sending out the email with the webinar details again, so that you can join us on Saturday at noon. So it's November 19th. I think it's Saturday. Let's see. Mommy brain, I don't remember everything. So Saturday is the 19th, yes, at noon, so that you can join the Purpose Planning 2017 workshop. And in this workshop, we're going to not just help you set goals, and I don't do that whole SMART goal thing, right? We're going to actually think about, who do you need to be to fulfill your purpose next year? And then help you dig into why these particular goals, right, or targets, why are they important to you? And the reason why we dig into that, and then you help to intuitively figure out the how. The reason why we dig into that is because those are the things, the who and the why, are going to be the things that propel you, right? You're going to get pushed by your purpose. And that's what's going to help you push by this point where we lose our steam in late February and March, and then you come around this time of year again, and you look back and you reflect, and you're like, God damn it, I didn't do anything I set out to do. I didn't honor any of my resolutions. So I want 2017 to be the year where you dominate, you execute, and inspire, so that you can fulfill your purpose and make a difference and honor the calling that you have. I know you're purpose-driven. I know you're meant to change people's lives and transform them. But the only way you're going to do that is if you get a stronger state of mind. And that means you got to dig out the stuff that's holding you back. If you get the right strategies and systems, there are proven strategies and systems for revenue generation, right? And you get the support. You don't have to do it by yourself. This can be so much easier, right? You trying to read 20,000 books when someone can say, here's the 5 steps you need to do in 6 weeks to get it done. Which one are you going to choose? You're going to choose the hard way because you're stubborn and you don't want to invest in yourself and figure it out? Or do you invest in yourself for the process that makes it easier and you can get going sooner, right? Because this is going to help you increase your impact, your influence, and your income, okay? So go to blackwomenrise.com, sign up or join the community. You'll get the guide. You get the opportunity to talk to me for 30 minutes, and you will get the email so that you can sign up for the workshop on Saturday. So the Purpose Planning Workshop. So this is Quanisha Green, your founder and chief activator of the Black Women Rise movement, signing off with my mompreneur hat and my Black Women CEO hat. So I will see you on Saturday. So go ahead, go over there right now, go to blackwomenrise.com and sign up. So if you put any questions in the comment box or you make comments, I'm going to answer them during the webinar on Saturday. So, and I'm doing that because now you got to come, right? You got to come get your questions answered. All right, well, I'll see you all later. Peace and love.